Some of the magic of poker is the low sample.
I agree.
Like, for example, and sorry to be bringing up Magnus so much, but there's so much parallel between the two of you and the poker and the chess world. He hates Olympics and world championships and all that kind of stuff because it's so low sample. But to me, that's part of the magic of it. There's the World Series of Poker, the main event. There's a magic to it.
I agree. Yeah.
And I don't know what that is exactly because so much is at stake. It's so rare. So much drama and heartbreak leading up to it that all somehow, it accumulates to that magical moment when somebody wins.
Especially that event, the World Series of Poker main event, historically, like that's it. That's the pinnacle. That's where like mainstream watches. That's where people are tuning in, and the gravity of the moment. It's so much bigger than people. Like everyone gets the opportunity to play armchair quarterback too, right? Oh, he should do this. You're not there. You're not under the lights. You're not under the pressure. It might seem easy for you at home to be like, well, yeah, because you can see the whole cards.
Mm-hmm.
They can't. Certainly, the idea of the small sample with tournaments, I like the idea that you don't have to worry about, oh, well, if I do this now, then in the future, I won't be balanced. Or I have to be balanced here or anything like that. That's like really boring and lame, right? Again, that is kind of the way the younger generation learns how to play the game, being balanced in every spot. And then randomizing, like, oh, I'm supposed to do this 50% of the time. Okay, so if my left card is red, I'll do it. And if it's black, I don't. So you're no longer making actual decisions for yourself. You're just randomizing. And that's way less fun for me than tailoring it to the situation.
And the final table at the main event, there's none of that. You have to, it's all or nothing.
Well, you shouldn't be, but there are. Like, again, I think a lot of the young guys, they are thinking in that regard. Like, oh, randomization.
Maybe at that table, the final table at the main event, what's a hand that stands out to you that was especially gutsy and powerful or memorable that you've seen in the history of poker?
Well, for me, the one that stands out, and probably because I was so young, and it was my first year, like I won a bracelet that year, I was friends with Scotty Wynn, the Prince of Poker, and he was heads up against the guy named Kevin McBride, and I was on the rail. I'm like, wow, he's gonna, he's heads up. And he was so cool. Like he had a mullet, but it's perfect, right? He had the white shirt with the black thing. He's drinking a Michelob, smoking a cigarette, whatever, all chill. He bets it all in the river. And the guy's thinking, and he psychologically owned him. And he goes with his beer, he goes, you call, gonna be all over, baby. That's right. Okay. So this guy who was an amateur heard that and was like, there's so much pressure in this moment right now. Yeah. I can't handle this pressure. But Scotty just told me if I call here, the pressure's gone. I don't have to be under it anymore. So he sort of hypnotized him into making the call. Yeah. And Scotty had it. Yeah. Scotty had, the full house, and it was over for the guy. You call, gonna be all over, baby. It was, I love that aspect, sort of the table talk dynamic, which isn't as prevalent today as it was back then. But that one sticks out, and it probably because it was one of my first.
So the few words you say at the table can completely affect a hand like that. That's scary.
It was just so cool to me, like just how he was so calm, and I think that too added more pressure to the amateur. And I think, like, again, part of it is even back then, it was 1998. There's still a big rail of people. And there's lights, and they're filming and all this kind of stuff. And it's a lot of pressure for a guy who's never been in this environment. And now I'm telling you, it can all be over soon. It will all be over soon. Just call, it's finished.